Mr. Secretary, will you call the roll?
Alquist, Anderson, Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Gaines, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, Lamaffa, Leno, Ted Lieu, Carol Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Runner, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee.
The absence of a quorum having been duly noted, the Sergeant-at-Arms is requested to lock the doors and call the absent members. Will the Sergeant-at-Arms please call the absent members? Members, if the Senate will please come to order. We could ask that the Senate please come to order. A quorum is present. Could we ask that the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfi, after which please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Leland Yee. Rabbi?
Happy New Year. O author of life, there is something about the turning of a calendar page to a new year that prompts us to reflect upon the meaning of our days. President Harry Truman offered these words of advice for us to consider about what truly matters. He said, "Fame is vapor, popularity is an accident, and money has wings. All that endures is character." It is sometimes difficult to remember that what is important is not only the work that needs to be done, but also the manner in which we do that work. At the end of the day, at the end of all of our days, what we will be remembered for is how we treated one another as we tried to accomplish our goals. Were we kind? Were we fair? Were we honest? Did we live with integrity? May it be the will of our Creator that we live each day as though it was our last, filling our years with meaning and with purpose. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Senator Yee. Privileges of the floor, members. Do we have any members who would like to introduce guests on the floor? Guests on the floor? Senator Corbett, do you have guests to introduce? Not at this time. Messages from the governor. Mr. Secretary, messages from the governor will be deemed read. Messages from the assembly will be deemed read. Reports of the committees will be deemed read and amendments adopted. That takes us to motions and resolutions. Members, without objection, all measures will be withdrawn from committee, will be re-referred to Rules Committee. Once again, without objection, all measures withdrawn from committee will be re-referred to the Rules Committee. Seeing and hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Any other items under motions and resolutions? Senator Corbett, for what purpose do you rise, Senator?
An adjournment in memory.
You are recognized, and let me ask the House to come to order first and then proceed. Members, if you could give your attention to Senator Corbett, please. She has an adjourn in memory. One moment, Senator. Members, we could ask for your attention, please. Senator Corbett, you have an adjourn in memory. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and good afternoon and welcome back, members. Today I rise with a very heavy heart to pay respects to a leader from the 10th Senate District. Sadly, this last Saturday, Fremont Mayor Bob Wasserman passed away. Mayor Wasserman served as mayor since 2004 and was an outstanding example of what a true civil servant was. He was a fighter, and he never let adversity stand in his way. He accomplished many wonderful things as a mayor. Some of his proudest moments were fighting to keep open Fremont's NUMMI plant. He championed bringing the A's to Fremont in 2009. And like many public officials across the state, he worked hard to make sure that tough decisions were made.
Senator Corbett, one moment, please. Members, I know that we're all delighted to be back for the first session of the new year, but on a more somber note, if you could give your attention, please, to Senator Corbett for this adjourn in memory. Please pay the respect that is due to those who have lost loved ones and key figures in family, friendship, and community. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. As I was saying, Mayor Wasserman, like many public officials across the state of California, worked hard to make tough budget decisions to help keep his city's finances balanced. He really was a true public servant. Even prior to being the mayor of Fremont, he had an outstanding 40-year career in public service. He was first elected to the city council in 1992, and he had 40 years in law enforcement, including appointments in Southern California and a term as president of the California Peace Officers Association. In 1976, Mayor Wasserman was appointed Fremont's chief of police. And after retiring as the police chief, he then ran for city council. Working with Mayor Wasserman was always a joy and always incredibly rewarding. He was a leader who was unafraid to make challenging decisions and always put his constituents first. I would just like to share my condolences to his wife of 53 years, Linda, and his children, Dan and Jill. We will all miss Mayor Wasserman deeply, and Fremont will never be the same without him. Thank you, members, for paying this respect to Mayor Wasserman.
Thank you, Senator Corbett. And Senator Corbett, please convey the sympathies of the Senate to friends, family, and an appreciation for the years of public service as well. Members, before we return to motions and resolutions, we do have introductions and first reading of bills without objection deemed read. Returning now to motions and resolutions. Senator Padilla, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
For an adjourning tribute as well.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I ask that you join me today in adjourning in memory of the Honorable Julie Ruelas, former City Council member and mayor in the city of San Fernando. Like so many residents of the Northeast San Fernando Valley, Julie was a lifelong resident of the Northeast Valley, and she succumbed to illness at the age of 56 just on New Year's Eve. She received her bachelor's degree from Cal State University Northridge, her master's degree from Pacific Oaks College, on her way to earning a PhD in education, which is what she dedicated her professional life to. An educator in a number of forms, including having served as a professor of child development at Los Angeles Mission College. I mentioned she served as council member and mayor in the city of San Fernando between the years 2003 and 2009. She leaves behind her husband of 34 years, Joe, along with children Nicole, Iris, Camille, Joseph, and 4 grandchildren. I ask that we adjourn in her memory.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. Once again, please convey the sympathies of the Senate. And Senator Padilla, I'm advised by the desk that we do need the information brought forward to ensure that the deceased is properly memorialized. Senator Ted Lieu, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
I rise to do an adjourn in memory.
Please proceed, Senator.
I'd like to adjourn in memory today for Gary Gross, a deputy county counsel for the Los Angeles County Counsel's Office. He was also my friend, and we went to law school together. I've known him for over 20 years. Gary was born on July 16, 1969, the day the astronauts were shot into space for the first moon landing. He received an award as one of the top 6 newspaper carriers in the state, delivering for the San Mateo Times. In line with his brothers, he became an Eagle Scout. He was very active in the B'nai B'rith Youth Organization, becoming a regional vice president. He graduated UCLA with a BA degree in political science, was a member of Sigma Pi Rho at UCLA, and Gary received a JD from Georgetown University Law Center. Among many other accomplishments at the Los Angeles County Counsel's Office, he made 2 oral arguments to California State Supreme Court and won both cases. He had about 15 other published decisions. He is survived by his wife, Lonnie Timtiman, and they have a daughter, Talia, age 10, the delight of Gary's life. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lieu. And again, please share the sympathies of the Senate. Members, Senator Lonnie Hancock. Senator Hancock, for what purpose do you rise, Senator?
I rise to adjourn in memory of 2 very, very important and beloved members of the 9th Senate District.
Please proceed.
The first is Terry Duran, a longtime educator in Berkeley who served for 32 years as a teacher at Berkeley High School, and then on his retirement went on to serve a number of years in the Berkeley School Board, and 2 terms as president of that school board. He died on January 1st, New Year's Day, after a long battle with cancer. Terry was a towering figure at Berkeley High School. Not only did he teach history and economics, he started the high school's photography program, chaired the arts department, and was faculty advisor for many, many years of the award-winning Berkeley High Jacket newspaper. When he stepped down from the school board, he pledged to remain involved in issues important to Berkeley, served on the Zoning Adjustments Board, the Downtown Plan Advisory Committee. It was a life of service. He was a joyful, involved civic leader, and citizen. Came to Berkeley in 1960 to attend UC and became involved in the peace movement and the civil rights movement, and is really one of the people that made and defined Berkeley as the place it is today. Terry Duran and his wife, Lenore, lived in the same house for 40 years. His sons, Colin and Andy, his brother Paul, all his grandchildren were with him in his last days, and he will be sorely missed by the truly legions of people in Berkeley who were inspired by his teaching, inspired by his leadership, and loved him dearly as a friend. In addition, Mr. President, I would like to adjourn in memory of Beverly Zell, a resident of El Cerrito, known to her legion of friends as Billy. She was born and raised in the Bronx, met her future husband, civic leader Cy Zell, when she was only 13 years old. They moved to California and built an inspirational and meaningful life in California. They raised their 3 children in the Richmond, El Cerrito area and were passionately involved in their work community and their synagogue, happily married for 55 years. Throughout her life, Billy was a devoted and loving mother, wife, mother-in-law, friend, and community member. She served her community volunteering on behalf of Temple Beth Hillel, Hadassah, and the American Lung Association, the Brookside Hospital Service League, the Contra Costa College Foundation, and the Brookside Hospital Foundation. She is loved by many and will be especially missed by her children Bonnie Zell, Eric Zell, and Tracy Zell Bennett, her 3 grandchildren, and her 2 great-grandchildren. I ask that we adjourn in her memory.
Thank you, Senator Hancock. Please convey the sympathies of the Senate. Senator Hancock, I'm advised by the desk that they'd like to ask you to bring those names forward to be sure that they are properly memorialized in today's record. Senator DeSaulnier, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Mr. President, I want to introduce some guests.
For purposes of introduction, please proceed, Senator DeSaulnier.
I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to acknowledge a group of students, their parents, and teachers from Pacific Technological School located in Orangevale. It's part of Sacramento County, and Senator Gaines, it's in his district. I'm honored to do this, and of course, if he wants to add to the welcome, because these students go to a charter school. They're seated in the gallery and are led by the charter school principal, Mr. Alton. Pacific Technological School is part of the Magnolia Foundation, a nonprofit charter management organization. You can see them standing, which operates under the district or county charters and is authorized by the state. I was fortunate enough, along with some of my colleagues, to go to Turkey, where we got to be introduced to the Institute along with Senator Simidian, who was on that trip. So we want to welcome you all, and thank you for coming today. Welcome to the California State Senate.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator DeSaulnier, and we add our welcome to those of Senator DeSaulnier on behalf of the entire Senate. I want to welcome our guests in the gallery today. Pleasure to have you here with us. Senator Yee, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Adjourn in memory.
Under motions and resolutions, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It is with sad heart that...
Senator, one moment, please. Members. One moment, please, Senator. One moment, please, Senator. Thank you, members. Senator Yee, please proceed.
Thank you very much. It's with sad heart that I too speak on the passing of Warren Hellman. I know that Senator Leno has made an appropriate announcement to the Senate about that, but on a personal level, he and I would, on a regular basis, meet for breakfast and talk about a range of things. There were a lot of things that we agree, and there are a lot of things that we disagree. But one of the things that surprised me was the depth and breadth of caring that Warren demonstrated for everyone, not only in San Francisco, but the Bay Area, and I would have to also say in the world. He even had a lot of interest in China and Hong Kong. He didn't invest in China, he invested in Hong Kong, but nevertheless, it just demonstrates the breadth of his involvement in the community throughout this world. It was a tremendous loss for all of us, and I don't know if there's going to be another person like Warren that will help build so many bridges across so many countries and culture. The other person that I want to acknowledge the passing is Michael Goldstein, a strong progressive advocate. But despite all the different things that he did in his life, he also was a rather personal individual. He took the time to talk to everyone. He took the time to mentor so many other individuals. It is a tremendous loss when you have a person who is known for certain kinds of political, maybe, viewpoints, but then yet having the breadth of reaching out to so many other individuals that he is, again, a tremendous loss. And those two individuals, for me, represent what is so great about San Francisco, and that is that you may have your own niche of interest, but you also care about the larger community. And both of those individuals demonstrate that, and wanted to acknowledge their passing and contribution.
Thank you, Senator Yee. Senator Yee, let me confirm with the desk. We do need the names of those individuals to ensure that they are properly memorialized. Senator Huff, for what purposes do you rise, sir?
Adjourn in memory.
Please proceed, Senator.
Members, I rise today to adjourn in memory of Clinton Campbell Emerson, who passed away in Redlands just last Friday at the age of 92. Those on this floor know his son, our colleague, Dr. and Senator Bill Emerson. It should come as no surprise when I tell you that Clinton was a dentist, like father, like son. You know the drill. Clinton was born in Forest Grove, Oregon, but soon moved with his family to Napa Valley, California. He attended Pacific Union College, and that's where he would meet the love of his life, Patricia Giddings. They married in 1941. Just before the onset of war, Clinton entered the U.S. Army Specialized Training Program as a student at the College of Physicians and Surgeons. After graduation, Dr. Emerson served his country as a dentist at Station Hospital in Georgia, attaining the rank of captain. Following his discharge, Dr. Emerson moved to Corona del Mar, eventually settling in Hemet in 1955, where he established his dental practice. But he was more than just a dentist. Clinton was a farmer, and he loved raising his Arabian horses, all on the family ranch. Dr. Emerson would later serve as professor and chair of the Department of Pediatric Dentistry at the University of Southern California, where he and other colleagues developed procedures that are still in use today to save primary teeth from extraction. Dr. Emerson loved serving his community as much as family and career. His love of farming and horses led to his appointment to serve on the board of directors of the 46th Agricultural Association, now the Southern California Fair, by Governors Reagan, Brown, Deukmejian, and Wilson. He served as president of the Hemet Kiwanis Club, helped co-found the Rancho California Arabian Horse Club, and served as program director of the Ramona Music Bowl Association. Dr. Emerson is survived by his wife, Patricia, who with Dr. Emerson celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary together last July. He's also survived by son Bill, daughter Sharon, and grandchildren Kate, Carolyn, and Clayton.
Thank you, Senator Huff. And Senator Huff, please pass along the sympathies of the Senate to friends and family, and if you would be sure to bring the name forward so that we can properly memorialize the passing. Senator Dutton, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
On the same adjournment of memory.
Please proceed, Senator.
I also rise in memory of Clinton Campbell Emerson, a great man who lived a life that was focused on his family and public service. And these traits are clearly been passed on to his son, Bill, who is not only a colleague, but a friend of mine for some time. And I'm very proud to serve with Bill and to have known his father. I'm a far better person for that.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Kern Price, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Adjourn in memory.
Please proceed, Senator.
I rise today to honor Lenora Hill, passed away suddenly at the age of 60. Lenora was an active community leader and an employee of the Bureau of Equalization. During her 23 years as a state employee, she was a longtime activist in her union, SEIU Local 1000. She always fought for the underdog and had a knack for bringing people together for a common cause. To quote the Local 1000 President Yvonne Walker, Lenora was a fierce advocate for what she believed in. She loved our state and our union. She was a shining star, but sometimes the heart just can't go on. California has lost a shining star. Please join me in remembering Miss Lenora Hill.
Thank you, Senator Price. Please convey the sympathies of the Senate. Senator, I'm advised by the desk that we do need the name here in order to ensure that we memorialize the passing. If you'll bring the name forward at the conclusion of the session, please. Senator De Leon, for what purpose do you rise, Senator?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I rise to adjourn in memory.
Please proceed.
To someone very close to our office, Valentina Antonia Nunez de Perez, the mother of our senior field representative, Jorge Nunez, just over the holidays, specifically on Christmas Eve, about 8:55 a.m., December 24th of last year, 2011, Ms. Antonia Nunez de Perez passed away peacefully at her home in Corona, California. She was 89 years old. Originally from El Salvador, Valentina lived a full life and had tremendous faith in prayer and also enjoyed reading as well as gardening. She was an animal lover and enjoyed chocolates every now and then. She regularly gave to charity and helped those who were less fortunate, especially given the fact that she came from a very, very poor background in her home of El Salvador. She also enjoyed sharing her life stories with anyone who was willing to listen. Above all, Valentina will be remembered as a loving mother, a daughter, as well as a friend. She's survived by 8 children, 20 grandchildren, as well as 16 great-grandchildren. She is a woman who will be sorely missed and is deeply thankful. Her family is deeply thankful for the many years that they were able to spend with her. May our thoughts and prayers go out to her family as well as friends. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Senator De Leon, thank you. Senator De Leon, if you would please bring the name forward to ensure that it is properly memorialized. Senator Leno, for what purpose do you rise, Senator?
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to add some comments to Senator Yee's adjourn in memory on Warren Hellman.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Colleagues, for those of you who may not know the name, I just wanted to share with you some accomplishments of an uncommon life. Warren Hellman was born into a very privileged and accomplished family 77 years ago. His great-grandfather, Isaiah, was one of the founders of Wells Fargo Bank in Nevada, and then subsequently Wells Fargo as we know it today. He grew up in the East Coast. After finishing school, became the youngest partner at Lehman Brothers at age 26, becoming its president at age 39. Started a number of his own investment houses in Boston and then in San Francisco, most recently Hellman Friedman. And that was just his professional life. In his spare time, he was the president of the United States ski racing team. He was a long-distance runner. He ran 100-mile races through the Sierra Nevada. He also participated in what's known as ride and tie, 100-mile races on horseback, again, through the Sierra Mountains. He was a great civic leader and philanthropist, participating at just about every level of government, most recently bringing warring factions together to be able to craft a pension reform measure in the mayor's office in San Francisco, which passed with great support of the ballot. It was Warren who made sure that that happened. He also has funded and will continue to fund, even now in his demise, through a foundation he's established, something called Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival in San Francisco, where about 750,000 San Franciscans congregate every October for a 3-day music festival, all of which is free and funded by Warren and his love of bluegrass music. In fact, he himself was a banjo player and would play with his group called the Wranglers. He wore a denim jacket with sewn-on beads his daughter did for him with Jewish stars up and down the sleeves and the back of his jacket. He grew up in a secular family, but along with his oldest daughter, who's already then a physician, they started a Torah study group, and when he was age 72 and I think she about age 40, they had their bar mitzvah, bat mitzvahs together. An extraordinary man, endless energies, endless talents, but for him it was all about, and he was quoted as such in any number of profiles written about him. He said, yeah, the money's great, but there's nothing better than being able to do something good with it. And that he became a genius at. He's a great loss to San Francisco, leaving 4 children, a wife, and 12 grandchildren. And we thank Warren for all he's done, not only for San Francisco, but for California.
Thank you, Senator Leno. Senator Padilla, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Mr. President, request to move item 64 to the inactive file.
Item 64, file item 64 to the inactive file. Without objection, it is so ordered. Members, if there are no other items at this time, I will call on Senator Steinberg. Senator Steinberg, Senator De Leon, do you have an item, or shall we go to Senator?
Do you have an item?
For what purpose do you rise, Senator Steinberg?
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for a couple of purposes. One, to announce a Democratic caucus immediately following the conclusion of session, and also to make a couple of opening remarks as we begin the 2012 session, without objection.
So ordered. And the Democratic caucus is immediately following the session in the Maddie Lounge. Is that correct, Senator Steinberg, in the Maddie Lounge?
Yes, in the Maddie Lounge.
Please proceed with your remarks. Members,
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just wanted to take a moment to wish everyone a Happy New Year and to welcome everybody back. The members, the staff, the advocates, the press, all those who are associated with the work we do. And I want to do a special shout out and a wish for good health to our colleague Sharon Runner, who is not here today, and wish her the very, very best. You know, this was a unique several months. We actually had an interim as a state senate, which is something that, when you look at the travails and the challenges of the last several years, we did not have. And it was an opportunity, I hope, for members to spend extended quality time in the district and to spend the holidays and good times with family and friends. It does seem that in prior years, we came in January after multiple fall sessions and deadlines, and one year even a budget into October, breathing hard and wondering where is the time to reflect. This January, I know for myself, and I hope it's true of all of you, I come in with a full head of steam, having had a little bit of time for reflection. For 2012, even though it isn't an election year, is a time of great challenge, but also some great opportunities. I like to think of myself as a glass 2/3 full kind of guy. Because when you look at it, 3 years ago, when I took over this position, we faced a deficit of $42 billion. It's now down to $13 billion. And Lord knows the decisions that have been made in order to reach that number have been difficult and been painful. But this is the year where we can put the word deficit behind us by passing a balanced and on-time budget. Let's do so this year. And I hope that this is a year where we can begin shifting just a little bit, or maybe a lot, from holding on and trying to make sure things aren't any worse than they otherwise could be, to actually building again in California, to actually creating, to actually advancing on behalf of the people we represent. Last year we had a real focus on economic growth, job creation, regulatory reform. We worked on CEQA and colleagues on the other side of the aisle and colleagues on this side of the aisle, we could all probably stipulate it was a beginning, not an end, but a beginning, and we need to continue that work. I hope this year as well that we have a renewed and an even greater focus on the people, especially those in the middle class being squeezed by the economic crisis. Whether it's mortgage relief and protection, whether it's keeping college affordable, whether it's a sustainable and secure pension system, whether it's local economic development in light of the Supreme Court's decision on redevelopment last week, affordable housing, and reform, including, I think, we need to take a very serious look at initiative reform this year in California. This is a short list among many other things that we need to tackle: water, high-speed rail. Goes on and on. Challenges, difficulties, but great opportunities. And so in that spirit, with a lot of energy, goodwill, good faith, an outstretched hand, willingness to work together once again, let's rise to the challenge, let's rise to the occasion. Let's have a great year together. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Members, if there is no other business at this time, then the desk is clear. Senator Steinberg, let me confirm with you, Senator Steinberg, if I may, that the Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene tomorrow, Thursday, at 9 a.m. Is that correct?
Session on Thursday is going to be moved to 7:30 a.m. this year. Just kidding. We'll convene at 9 o'clock for a short session tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Session will be at Thursday at 9 a.m. Members, a reminder that there is a Democratic caucus immediately upon conclusion of the session in the Maddie Lounge. Without objection, then, the Senate stands in recess.